is your land, this land is my land, from way, way yonder, over to Pine Island, from the Hudson River to the menacing valley. We have no room for CPV. As I was driving down the 84 highway, I saw above me a smoky skyway. I saw the lonely, polluted waters. We have no room for CPV. Tanks of ammonia, smokestacks to choke ya, and fracking pipelines. We'd rather have solar, built on corruption, creates pollution. We have no room for CPV. We have no room for CPV.
Yeah!
Woo. So today is an interesting, kind of ironic day because those of us who came from Orange County actually went to two different courtrooms. First we went to the Percoco trial to hear what was going on with that case, the corruption case against Joseph Percoco and Peter Gilbert Kelly that centers largely around the CPV Valley Power Plant. And today, standing here, are residents who have traveled all the way from Orange County to be here, from almost 2 hours away, to come and make their voices heard. And we also had oral arguments for the case against the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and the Millennium Pipeline that would determine the outcome of the lateral pipeline to serve the power plant. Now, this lateral pipeline is the last permit and infrastructure that this power plant needs to become fully operational. And it was interesting going from courtroom to courtroom because it was very clear why this project was approved. The Percoco case makes it very clear that were it not for the fact that Joseph Percoco had a personal financial interest in getting this power plant approved, it is very clear that this power plant would never be approved, and we would not be here for this case against the lateral pipeline. Now, the case against the lateral pipeline involves the state's denial of the water quality certification and the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's waiver of the state's authority over water quality. And we are extremely concerned about that federal overreach by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission because states are vested by an act of Congress with the authority to issue water quality certifications. And it would be an unprecedented overreach and a tremendous loss of state power if we were not to prevail in this case. And once again, we get a sense from both these cases as to how powerful these companies are and how reckless and careless they are with people's health, safety, and water quality. Something critical to life. We all know from Flint, Michigan, and from the Hoosick Falls case, we all know how important water quality is to health and safety. So once again, we see with this case with the lateral pipeline, we see a pipeline trying to evade public participation and public notice of their projects, trying to evade substantive issues, addressing substantive issues. And this has been the pattern of this company from day one. If you go back and look at their permitting process, way back in 2008 and 2009, it was constant trying to get around the environmental issues and impacts that they are legally obligated to address. And the fact that they had high-level state officials working for them and working on their behalf is the reason why we're in this situation where a critical environmental area in Orange County now is being recklessly destroyed, both by the power plant company and by this pipeline. So had the oral arguments for this case, and the Second Circuit Court of Appeals will determine, will make a decision, and it will determine whether that pipeline moves forward or not. It's important to know that the pipeline is already being laid. The trees have already been cleared. Once again, the cart was put before the horse, and the people are paying the price with their health and safety. But we are fortunate to have a wonderful attorney who represented us. I want to thank Carolyn Elephant.
Speak to this one.
Okay, speak to this one. So we've just come out of the oral arguments at the Second Circuit regarding the issue of waiver that Camilla was talking about. The judges had a lot of questions. I think that they were concerned about figuring out when the right time is for issues to be waived or not. They did ask some questions of Millennium as to what would become of the residents' comments if the waiver had been upheld, because one of the things that we had argued was that the residents were deprived of an opportunity to get their comments on water quality for FERC if the waiver was, if the water quality certificate was waived. So I think that that's something that we were able to successfully bring to the attention of the court. And I think that in terms of the other arguments, it seems to me that they were somewhat on the fence, but they did ask, what the end result would be, and all three attorneys agreed that if the court vacates the waiver, that the denial of the certificate would be affirmed, and I think that would be good news for everybody here.
I want to talk specifically right now about the Millennium Pipeline Company and their absolutely unconscionable and egregious actions over the last couple of months in laying out this pipeline that's going to fund the fracked gas to this power plant. We made them perfectly aware of a nesting pair of bald eagles who are just entering the breeding season. We showed them video footage of these eagles. They completely ignored it, denied it, continued on with their construction practices within 80 or 100 feet of these nesting pair of bald eagle. Completely scared these beautiful birds away. And now the residents of Orange County are having to grapple with this company traversing through pristine farmland, a valley that should be preserved and not taken advantage of. In my own personal experience with them, I've been doing my best to get out on the ground and monitor this project, and they have responded with 3 SLAP lawsuits strategically to dissuade myself and the other members of Protect Orange County from documenting the illegal activity of this pipeline company. Let's not forget that according to the Clean Water Act, they have to have a 401 water quality certificate from a state agency, and they do not have it. FERC doesn't have the ability to give it to them, and our state denied it. And FERC has come in. They're trying to use a stipulation, a small factor of a timeline to decide a very, very, very important fact. And it's unconscionable and completely uncompromising. And I, along with the rest of the people of Orange County, are not going to put up with it. So that's what I have to say about it.
I just want to talk, we're the frontline community that is affected by the rampant corruption through our state, and without, bribery and these acts to get approvals by improper means, it allowed CPV to be brought into our community. It allowed it to be put on our aquifer. It allowed it to have a pipeline traverse through 60 wetlands and streams. This is a power plant that is close to a number of schools, hospitals, housing developments. It's in a community, and there is no evacuation plan. There's no emergency plan for it. We didn't know about it. We all moved up there because of the beautiful land, the agriculture, our historical spot in New York as the county that feeds the city. Our black dirt is a precious resource, and it was put in this location to compromise our health, our safety, and our future in Orange County.
for something that we don't need. And this is the effects of corruption for families to be put out in the dark. So we're asking that everybody be brought to justice for this. Thank you.
And this is Rockland County speaking. We already had to move a couple of years back from our house, a beautiful house in Rockland County. We had to relocate on account of the health effects our family was experiencing on account of fracked gas infrastructure. And now we are finding ourselves in a direct impact zone of the CPV power plant. And again, we are being told that emissions would be tolerable. Tolerable by whom? By like a stone or what? You know, we are living creatures, we are living So, and we are talking about bog turtles, we are talking about bald eagles, but there are also people in the equation here. There are little kids in the equation who would like a future. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has all been said so beautifully and so eloquently by these wonderful people who have been representing us and doing research and doing traveling and doing everything that possibly can be done to take us out of this danger zone. We were not told. I am a resident of Wawayanda. I live about 2 miles as the crow flies from the plant. And we were not told by our local officials that this was even coming up. There was some talk of it a couple of years before when the owner of the Millennium people or whoever it was came to the town hall, but nothing after that. And when we filled the place, after we found out about it, we were told to shut up. That's what we were told. And that's the way this whole thing has been carried on. This was done by 7 little people in the town of Wawayanda making a decision for all of the people who live there. This is poison. The effects of this are going to be horrendous. Again, as on the black dirt crops on all of our gardens, there's an ammonia tank that if that goes, we're all dead. Why are we accepting this? We cannot accept this in our community, and it should not be in any community. It should be way out, if at all. I'm not in favor of it at all, but not in the middle of a community. We have schools, we have hospitals, there's a workforce housing program right down the street where hundreds of children are going to be impacted and adults. Who does this? For money? We're going to die for money? For someone else's money? If I were getting the money, I wouldn't do it. It's horrible. Shut it down. Governor Cuomo, please, shut it down.
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 Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Let's not forget about our neighbors in Pennsylvania that are going to have 150 new fracked wells every single year just to fund this one power plant. And this is just one of many that are planned for the future of New York State. So if we are good neighbors, like I'm sure all of us are, we need to stand up here in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Pennsylvania and protect them as well. That's another big reason why we're
And for the total picture, the global warming.
A question came up about Joseph Percoco in the elevator, and I did see him in the elevator, and I did tell him, I did ask him if he's aware of the harm and the tremendous impacts that his project has caused on the people of Orange County, and he kind of really aggressively, said, "Oh, you're just saying that because the press is here." And apparently there was some complaint in the courtroom again because of people with signs being out here. Now, let me be clear. We're here because we have a hearing before the Second Circuit Court of Appeals in this courtroom. All right? But even if we were here for the Percoco trial, the public has a right to attend the trial. In fact, everybody should attend this trial so that they get a sense of what has happened to our government. Everybody should be watching that Percoco trial. In fact, they should probably be broadcasting it. according to the reporter, they did complain again that there were protesters outside. Now, I was in the courtroom on Monday, and the judge made it absolutely clear that to the jurors that if you see protesters, ignore them. So she made very specific instructions, gave the jurors very specific instructions, and I have no reason to believe that they would not follow them. And that is not our purpose. Our purpose here is to, number one, participate in a case in which we're interveners, and also to make sure that the public understands that we object to the kind of corruption that has led to this crisis, both in Orange County as well as in New York State, with the approval of this power plant. This power plant should never have been approved, and we are the victims of the crimes that are the subject of these proceedings. And victims have a right to attend the court proceedings. Everybody has a right to attend the court proceedings, but especially the victims have the right to attend court proceedings. So I have no idea what this defense is constantly whining about. Clearly they have not the most basic fundamental understanding of the U.S. Constitution, but it is our First Amendment right to be here. It's our First Amendment right to protest. It's our First Amendment right to speak our minds. It's our First Amendment right to have signs out here. So, there is nothing unusual about this. And as I said, the judge, we will comply with whatever directions the judge issues. But, at this moment, we have a right to be here, and we're exercising that right.
Built on corruption creates pollution. Built on corruption creates pollution.
I have to say that it's really perplexing that the media, the entire Percoco trial, and I've seen it for a couple of days now, centers around this power plant project. So it's really perplexing to me why the media is not more interested in the project itself and what led to the corruption. Why did they have to go through such extra legal measures? Why did they have to engage in this really complex conspiracy to hide money? That's because this project would never, absent the influence of Joseph Percoco, this project would never have received even one permit. Not one. Because, as I said, they tried to put this power plant, or they did put this power plant in the middle of a critical environmental area. And under normal circumstances, if there was no improper influence, if there was no corrupt influence, there is no way under state law that this project could have received one approval.
Hey, hey, Cuomo! CPV has got to go! Hey, hey, Cuomo! CPV has got to go!
The money that was given to Joseph Percoco's wife was from 2012 all the way to 2016. It was 2012 to 2016, right? It was about 3 years, I think December of 2012 into 2016. During that time, the state got, the power plant got many critical improvements. So I don't think it's accurate to say that it was just for one power purchase agreement that never transpired. The other thing that people need to know is that power purchase agreement was taken off the table not because Joseph Percoco couldn't fulfill on a commitment to get it, but because that type of agreement was nullified by the U.S. Supreme Court. And CPV very well knew that case was decided in that manner, and that power purchase agreement would not be legally permissible. But yet the bribery continued even after that. So the notion that the alleged bribery was only for a power purchase agreement, we challenge that notion. And also for the emissions credits, I just want to make a point about the emissions credits. During the opening statement, people used the term, the prosecutors, government used the term energy credits, environmental credits. They're not energy credits, environmental credits. They're called emission reduction credits. And the credits that were given to CPV were actually taken out of retirement by the DEC and given to CPV. Now, the retirement program that the state has is designed to improve New York State's air quality. So if a company closes down and they get credits for closing down. That means for reducing pollution. But in order to prevent those credits from being resold back into the market and allowing for more pollution, the state has a retirement program in which they retire them so that they can't be bought in the market for emissions credits. Yet our DEC took those credits out of retirement and gave them to CPV. Again, you see once again how corruption causes pollution. What was our phrase about corruption and pollution?
Corruption causes pollution.
Corruption causes pollution.
Corruption causes pollution. Corruption causes pollution.
Corruption causes pollution. So anyway, this is Lee Zeshi from St. Energy.
Yeah, I mean, one, this is completely on Governor Cuomo. The corruption happened under his watch. In 2017, in his State of the State, he said he was going to double down on frack gas infrastructure. Well, this project is being built. And I'd really just like to call out to all the people who fought fracking in New York to come join this fight. A lot of us signed a pledge that if there was ever going to be one well in New York State, that we would be there to stop it. Well, this is 150 wells, and it's going to be in our neighboring Pennsylvania. People are suffering because of this, so we need everybody who joined the fight to stop fracking here to realize that our ban is not complete until we stop all frack gas infrastructure. Please join us in stopping all frack gas infrastructure. Governor Cuomo, you claim to be a climate leader. This courthouse in this entire city is threatened by this plant. We're buying apparently the power is going to be here, but this power plant is going to put New York City underwater. So we need Governor Cuomo to be a real climate leader. We believe you can do this. Your father stopped a nuclear power plant that was built. We have faith that you will stop this plant and make right the corruption that happened and protect the people of Orange County and all of New York.
Thank you. All right, everybody. So I encourage everybody to come and sit in the courtroom and watch the Coco trial. It's really very interesting. And stay tuned. Let's hope that we stop this lateral pipeline. But one way or another, we're going to stop it. We're going to shut down CPV.
Shut down CPV. Shut down CPV. Shut down CPV. Shut down CPV.
Shut down CPV.
Shut down CPV. Shut down CPV. Shut down CPV.
And if anybody out there in New York City or beyond wants to come and see what this CPV Energy Center actually looks like, it's right outside of Middletown, city of Middletown in Orange County. We have a protest we do every single week. It's the longest running frack gas protest going on in New York State, probably further than that. It's from 11 to noon every Saturday. Check us out on Protect Orange County Facebook page or protectorangecounty.org and help us join this fight. We can do it with people power.
Right